Are you ready?
I was born ready.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 25 of the Stocky and Alex Show, the podcast covering topics around this world, business, news, markets, money, and sports. When people talk about it, Stocky and I talk about it. This show can be listened and viewed on YouTube and Spotify. Guys, be able to catch all the episodes by subscribing on both. Also, guys, download the episodes when you can.
iTunes coming in 2025.
2026. And follow the show on all the socials. Stocky, saw, dude.
What's up, buddy? I see we're wearing a Bears jersey again.
Go Bears.
Did you guys re-sign A-Rob, or did he get away from
He's
you
an
guys?
LA Ram now, so they're going to be even better than they were last year. They got
so all the Jaguars are just going over there. Okay.
Yeah, they really are.
It's like every first round draft pick for the Jags is just going to end up in St. Louis.
Hey, when you spend money, like when you're spending money and you're just spending money for fun, what do you spend money on? You?
On me? Fuck, nothing really.
Like if you had to say, hey, like most of my like discretionary income with just when I just splurge and spend it on myself to enjoy. Now it doesn't have to be a thing. It could be like something that like an experience for you and your wife, like you guys go on vacation or something. Like when you're spending money, what are you spending money on?
I've never been a spender though, because here's my thing. I grew up so poor that I was always afraid to spend money, except when it came to addictions, right? Like cigarettes. I'd spend $6,000 a year on cigarettes back then, and probably $4,000 on alcohol, and I'd probably spend $10,000 on gambling, right? Like that was no problem. But goddamn it, I wouldn't buy a pizza if there wasn't a coupon or a deal. Like it's always been weird. It's a psychological thing for addicts, right? But now that I've moved past all of that stuff, I don't spend money on myself. I don't like to spend money on myself because I feel like it's a waste. I love spending money. Like my daughter, I have been buying stuff for her all the time. Like when I see something, I think about it. Like I got her a little lawnmower that had bubbles when she pushes it, and she loved it, right? And so like the next day, every weekend, I have something new for her. So this Saturday, I had bought her sidewalk chalk. And we went out and we drew on the sidewalk. And then yesterday was the water table. So our Sunday was a water table. So we went to a friend's house and went to their pool, and they had a kid who had a water table.
What's a water table?
Was obsessed. It's like a table that is like it holds water, and it has like a little thing where you can spin it and you can do whatever. And she's obsessed with water. So of course I was like, I got to get her that. And then now for this Saturday, I got one of those things because she loves water so much. It's a little ladybug that has these like little plastic tubes on it. You hook the hose to it and it just kind of whips around. So like that excites me. Like I love seeing that. Trips for my wife and stuff are nice. The only thing I spend money on myself for is 3 days a week I'll order breakfast so that I don't have, because I don't get a lot of sleep, I don't have to make breakfast. So I would say food delivery is the only splurge I make on myself, because that's it.
But even then, that doesn't really, I don't really count that as spending on yourself, because you're going to take that time and invest it into prepping for your day, your stream, and that kind of stuff. So, and like,
well, I almost bought a one wheel and then realized that A, I'd probably face plant 7 times, and B, when am I ever going to fucking use it? Like I just had the idea that I'd want it.
What's a one wheel?
So it's like this board that has a big wheel in the middle, and you stand your feet on both sides of it, and you use the pressure to the front to make it go and back to slow it down.
It sounds like a Segway.
No, it's just literally a giant wheel with a board that goes around it that you stand on. The wheel's in between your legs.
And you're saying you were going to use that to go get your food?
No, I just thought it would be cool to zip around the neighborhood,
like
but then I realized, not so much. So then I was like, okay, I'll get myself. I always thought that those electric scooters were like for like pussies, until I went to LA and rode one. It was badass. But then when I told my wife about it, she's like, you're a pussy if you get one. So I was like, all right, whatever. And so then I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get one of those like 3-wheeled cars. Like what do they call them? The Raptors or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know.
Whatever.
And I was like, that's kind of cool. But then I realized the drivers in Florida are shit. So I just don't do anything then.
Yeah, I don't count food delivery for anybody that's working as like a total splurge. Like I get it if you're just at night and you're vegging and you're just like, man, I really don't want to just get off my couch, so I'm just gonna buy this $31 burrito and chips and queso. But like if you're like getting ready for work, dude, like who knows? I take it back. I did think of something I splurge on.
And I always used to make fun of these people until I became wealthier than what I was. And that's in-game purchases on phone games. Like, I'm not a video gamer, but I play phone games because, I'm with my daughter, or I'm putting her to sleep, or I'm bored or whatever, and we're on a walk, and I play games. And every now and then I'll do an in-game purchase because it helps me get past whatever I'm doing, and I feel like I'm that guy that I used to hate, and so now I'm that guy. Because I remember when I was broke, when I was younger, and I used to play these games, I'd be up against these people, like those online battle games or whatever, and you'd be in that war in a clan or whatever, and like that one team always won because all they did was fucking spend money, and you fucking hated them. You hated them. You're like, fuck you, it's not fair, you're cheating piece of shit. And now that I'm that guy, I'm like, get wrecked, kids.
Dude, you're a gamer, man. I didn't know you played mobile games.
Well, the only games I play now is I play Game of Thrones slots because
slots on your phone.
No, not because I like to play the slot machine, but because it's so much fun with the little quests you have to do. That's fun. I play Candy Crush, which I always thought was just for middle-aged and old women, but when I had a baby, it was a lifesaver. And I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Love that game.
Download it. I'm gonna tell you why you want to download it. When you're putting the baby to sleep and you're in one arm or you're rocking her or whatever, and you have one arm free, you need something that's just like mind-numbing and one-handed. Candy Crush is fucking legit, not an ad. And then I have NBA 2K something. What is it? 2K22 on the arcade, and then I have Oregon Trail, and I have a little ball game. That's
Dude, that shit counts, man. You're a gamer. That shit counts. I probably
spend $20 a month on it.
Listen, though. I don't discount mobile gaming. I say mobile gamers are gamers just like the rest. And there's all these like people online that love to like gatekeep and be like, oh, if you play mobile games, you're not a real gamer. I'd actually disagree. I'd actually take it the whole other. I would take it the complete flip opposite. I would say if you're playing mobile games, you're just playing on the newest tech and the newest platform for all that, all these new kinds of experiences in gaming. And it's actually the biggest source of gaming revenue in the world is from mobile games.
Dude, Candy Crush made $1 billion last year. Just that game alone.
It's all the damn microtransactions.
But you know what's funny? Outside the United States, everyone pays for mobile transactions. Like, it's a normal thing. Like, only in the United States do we refuse to pay for things. Like, outside is normal. Like, hey, listen, I gotta pay so I don't watch ads. Cool, I gotta pay for this, no problem. Like, it's just a normal thing.
There's a stigma here about pay to win and that kind of stuff, which like you were just describing.
Yeah. It is what it is. And I don't do pay to win. Like, I do it just to kind of like, because I'm not usually playing competitively. I'm playing for myself or playing with myself. So the thing is well, that too. But the thing is like, that's a microtransaction, if you know what I mean. Oh, self-burn. But yeah, we just wasted way too much time on this. But speaking of gaming and wasting time and watching how much time goes by, I did something on stream today that I thought was going to be super motivational, and it turned out to be super fucking depressing.
Was it continuously watching the Johnny Depp trial?
No, everybody loves that. I bought this thing, and it's called Weeks of My Life, and it's a calendar that puts every year.
I know what it is.
4 years, and the bubbles of how many weeks. And I like it because I'm one of those people where I need to be motivated by being reminded about stuff. So like when I want to work out, I'll put a sticky note on the fridge that says 10 push-ups. So every time I go to the fridge, I do 10 push-ups. In my bedroom, 10 whatever. And so for me, I don't look at this as a countdown until when I'm going to die or how little time I have left. I look at it as, this is how much time I've spent. This is how much time I have left. And let me just make sure that I make the best of it, right? And I don't look at it. And everybody's like, oh, it's so depressing. I'm like, no, because let me be honest with you. Not you, but like people, what they like to do is they like to think of time as abstract, right? Like, oh, I've got plenty of time left, right? I've got 50 years until I retire or die or whatever like that. So I'll do this later on. I'll do this later on. Oh, I got plenty of time. Because it's so abstract in our minds. And then it goes by so quick. And you know this, I know this especially, and people older than me know it even more. It goes by so quick that one day you sit down and say, okay, now I have time to do this. But you can't. You're not physically able to. You don't have the money to. You're too old, or the thing doesn't exist anymore. And so that's the idea. And so for me, I don't like to live in an abstract world. It's probably why I don't subscribe to religion or whatever. But this right here is awesome, because what it does is it tells me, okay, you do have a lot of time left, but it is finite. And then I tell people when they got all freaked out, I said, let me ask you a question. If you went to your doctor tomorrow and your doctor looked at you and said, in 365 days, you're going to drop dead. You're not going to slowly die. You're not going to suffer. But at exactly 1 year from today, you're going to drop dead. What would your life be like? Think about that for a second. Just think about how drastic your life would change tomorrow for the rest of for the next year.
Yeah.
Now, do that in a more macro time frame somehow, and you might actually do that. Because let's be honest, if somebody said, Stocky, you're going to die in 1 year, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to take what money I have, and I am going to take my daughter, and I am going to hug her every moment. I'm going to play with her. I'm going to tell my wife I love her. I'm going to play with my dog. I'm going to go see my family. I'm going to go visit things and stuff like that. And so when you think that way, now step back and say, why am I not already doing that stuff?
You got some real Tim McGraw philosophy going on over here. Some live like you were dying.
I'm not living like you were dying. I'm just saying, like, that's exactly what people would do. Every single person I've met that was like that has terminal or is old or whatever, like, they all say the same thing. I wish I would have done it. Or I wish this, and I waited too late or whatever. And so I am the worst person. I give this advice to people all the time, and a lot of times I don't follow it myself. So I have to do these things to remind myself. And so I looked at this calendar, and I minus the first line because I feel like 1 to 8 isn't really cognizant enough. And I minus the last line because after 80 is like kind of way past the average lifespan. And this is where I'm at on here.
Back it up, though, so we get the full context. For those that are just listening, the dot is about, what would you say, about 35% of the way through?
Oh, no. It's just at half, just under half.
Just under half? All right, about 45%.
Not 37, and 40 would be half.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
that week.
Certainly.
That's last week.
It certainly puts things into context. I mean, those things, like when you look at it like that.
Like, I don't look at this and get depressed. I look at it and say.
That's why that's like, there's nights where I'm like.
Wait until I dot it all out.
There's nights where I'm like, man, I got a lot of work I can get done tonight. I could if I really, focus, I can work until I go to bed and be productive. But I'm like, I'm going to spend the hours of 6 to 9 or 6 to 9:30 or 6:30 to 10 or whatever, spending time with Mel. And in the future, we'll have our little boy. And I'm like, that's what I'm going to spend. Like, you're never going to regret time that you spend with your loved ones. And
well, it's hard for me because I get distracted so easy and I get so bored so easy all the time. And I have been my whole life because of my ADHD and other things that I just don't actually enjoy the moment. Like, I told my wife, the last thing before because we've been spending so much time on this personal shit.
Podcast, though, man.
I told my wife, we were talking about jealousy, and I said, I don't get jealous of people. I used to when I was younger because I didn't have things, but now I don't get jealous of people. I see somebody with more than me, and I think to myself, well, good for them or whatever. That's their life, and it's the same way that because I always tell people, I don't get jealous of people who have more, the same way I don't feel like, I don't like hate myself for having more than someone else, right? Like, I just kind of focus on me. My neighbors, their house is nice. We have friends that have a bunch of nice shit, but they're in debt up to their ass, whatever. I don't focus on that. I don't get jealous anymore. I just kind of focus on me. But the one thing I am jealous of is people that are able to relax. And what I mean by that is
that's because those are the people that legit. Oh, the other people, they don't have more. I mean, they have things, but like, who cares about things? The people that are able to relax, the people that are able to enjoy the moment, they're the ones actually getting more out of those.
And that's what I'm jealous of is that I've never been able to do that. Like, I can't go to the beach and just sit and listen to the waves. I have to be doing something on my phone, or I have to be talking
waves
to somebody.
Waves, man, but like, who cares?
You know what I mean? Like, I can't sit and watch a TV show. I have to be playing a game. I can't listen to a conversation without doing something else. Like, I can't relax. That's the only times.
That attention deficit that you're describing is like, talking about waves, talking about TV shows. Even then, man, who cares about those things? As long as you're able to sit down with your wife and with your daughter and enjoy the moments with them, that's what matters the most.
But I can't. I have to be doing other things, and it's just crazy. This is why I had such a hard time when I was younger, and I was so destructive because I got bored and I needed something to numb it or just make it just make it go by quicker. So what I've been doing is, and this is the first time I've done it, I've had to force myself. This is why I have to force myself to do things. Is now I'm purposely leaving my phone at home when I walk my daughter to the park in the neighborhood. So that way I am required to 100% give her attention. Because if not, after 5-10 minutes, I'll just be looking at futures.
Honestly, this is why football has been such a big thing in my life. I'm such a big football fan. You know, I talk about it all the damn time. And we get to talk about the Jags a lot. But when I was brought up, like, my dad taught, like, my brother and I, and, like, my mom and my parents are divorced. But even at the time, my mom was all into it when I was younger. Like, Saturdays, like we're gonna, and Sunday, sometimes Sundays, but really Saturdays because college football, we're gonna spend time together. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna get invested in this thing. You know, who cares what it is? But we're gonna spend this quality time together. We're gonna spend 12 hours today hanging out, watching football, maybe going outside, throwing the football around, ordering pizza, doing that kind of stuff. And I was just taught like this is how you spend time. So that's why now one of the things I'm so excited about with my boy who's gonna be born in July. I'm like, I can't wait to watch football with him, you know, in the fall. And like, I know he's going to be an infant. He's not going to know, but every year he's going to start being more and more aware. And so it's just like one of those things where like, that's a day. You get to block that time out. There's football on. And I just get to, you know, you build relationships that way.
I that's another problem I have because I didn't have those when I was a kid. Like I didn't have a family, like nobody, like I didn't get any hugs or any I love yous or anything. Like I didn't have that connection. So like my entire life, I've been unable to have human connections other than like I have to be reminded to call my family. I've never missed anyone in my life. Like I've never been away from family or friends or anything and missed them, girlfriends, whatever. I've never missed them. Even my wife knows that like she went to India and I didn't call her. Like it's not like I didn't care.
But you just told me before when we were getting ready for a podcast the other week, you just told me like, your daughter, that connection with your daughter.
That's what I'm saying is that I noticed something and it freaked me out. And that's that not only do I have a connection to my daughter, not only do I love making her happy, not only do I just love kissing her and playing with her and exploring with her. Like she loves to explore. Like she doesn't care about games. She wants to explore and break things apart. And I'm there for her. But I had the first ever dream because I have night terrors as it is, but this added into it. And I'm going to tell you, this is the first time I've woken up from something like this and it affected me. And I've never told anybody this. So I'll tell it to you this. Last night, I was watching a show where the husband and wife were divorcing or whatever because somebody had done something like that. And it showed years later. And then the kid had grown up with the mom and another guy. And I had a dream last night that I went to get my daughter and my wife and I guess had separated or whatever. And she was like calling another guy dad. And it like crushed me. It I mean, I've never had that emotion in my life. Like watching my little girl, like all of a sudden I'm no longer her daddy. It's some other guy. I don't know why. I think it's because of it was manifesting from the show I watched. But the feeling I had when I woke up of just like, it was just like somebody punched me in the stomach. And I was like,
that'll put into context the shit that matters to you in life. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And that right there was the first time I've ever felt like that. Like I've had dreams of like, someone that I'm dating cheating on me or like, someone dying that I know and it didn't affect me, but that affected me. Like it's weird this late in life having that, but whatever. We're really going off on a tangent.
It's good podcast stuff though, man. That's good podcast.
Well, you know what? It's funny is that now that I've gotten older and I've gotten to the point where I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not to have people like me. The people that I do get along with and that can put up with me and I can also put up with them and whatever. I find that I'm getting more excited to be around those people. Like I look forward to these podcasts every week because I feel like I'm hanging out with a buddy of mine. You know what I mean? And I've never really, and it's the same thing with my buddies in real life that I have now. Like I've never really felt that, but as I've got my daughter and I've gotten older and I'm just kind of like over all the bullshit, it's like, okay, in doses, I enjoy it. And I'm not trying to get sentimental on you, you piece of shit, but I actually look forward to not our fucking things on stream because I hate that sellout bullshit, but I look forward to it. Even my wife says she loves when we do the podcast because I'm always in a better mood afterwards. I said, yeah, because I get to hang out and bullshit with a buddy.
That's dope, man. I'm glad that you're having fun with this. Same thing. This is like the part of my week I look forward to. And we slid it up. We're recording a little earlier. Obviously, anybody that's hearing this on recording doesn't realize that, but we slid this up a little earlier in the day. So it's actually sunlight out now, man. I get to. It is. When we started doing this, it was starting to get all dark and everything, but it's all sunlight. Guys, a lot going on in the world. I hope you all enjoyed about 20 minutes of just bullshit banter and then also some real talk there, guys. A lot going on in the world. Our first story of the day is coming from cheddar.com. The story of, hold on, let me actually send it over. It'd be really helpful if everybody can see it. And there we go. Abbott saying that there's an agreement in place to reopen baby formula plant. Because as everybody's been seeing on Twitter, baby formula, I think you tweeted this, baby formula in 22 is toilet paper from 2020. It's just a commodity that is just completely scarce right now. It says infant formula maker Abbott says it's reached an agreement with U.S. health officials to restart production.
Your door just moved, dude.
Oh, my door? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it just like moved.
That door?
That one, the gray one. It's moving again.
What are you talking about?
It just opened.
Oh, you are seeing. Yeah, Mel just got home.
Oh, I was like, what the hell is happening?
For those that don't know, Stocky's got a different perspective of me. He's got a camera that's looking this way, and this looks out into my house, and my garage door is right there because I'm in
I've
this.
still never met Mel. That's probably a good thing. It's probably a reason for it. It's probably on purpose.
My office is like detached from the house on the other side of the garage. So she just came home and it's freaking Stocky out.
I didn't because of the way it's angled. I can't see a hand or anything. I just saw the door like move slowly open, then slowly close and stop, and then go open.
You kind of had a protective tone there. You were like, dude, watch out, someone coming to get you, bro.
Bro, come on. You think I fuck around? I mean, dude, listen, all right? I have the desk gun 40 caliber right here. I don't fuck around,
I know you don't. That's why I tell Toxie he's such a damn idiot for taking soup to your house that one day.
All right, so baby formula, real quick. So yes, I did tweet it out. I went to 3 different stores. I went to Publix, I went to Target, and I went to Walmart neighborhood groceries for some different things I needed for the house. And I decided to go down the baby aisle, and the shelves were empty. I mean, they were fucking empty. And I was like, this reminds me of the toilet paper thing. Now, for context, this is a supply chain issue that we have, and other things have been going out. But what has been driving it, the same thing as what happened with toilet paper, it's the media. The media puts it in people's minds that they're going to be out of something, and they go and they stock up on it, and they go on a run on it. And when there's not a supply chain to refill it, it starts getting, lower, and then that causes more people to run on it. 3 weeks ago, 35% of consumer stores were experiencing a shortage. Then it was 43%. Then it was 50%. After the past week, it's almost at 70%. So what I did was I started putting some things together, and I started looking at it, and I said, okay, I need to do some digging. How can I make money off this, right? So I ended up spending part of the last week, because I just don't have anything else to do with my life. And I started going through and saying, okay, who makes baby formula? So I started looking at the companies that made it, and I said, where does it come from? And then I found out that about 95% of all baby formula is manufactured in the United States. The one that's bought in the United States, because, and I did this in the rabbit hole, the FDA stopped allowing international shipments of it, whether it's because the lobbyists paid them to do this or because they actually believe that the inferior products or there's safety issues. Because let me tell you something, this is what I told my community, especially in election season. You can let a massacre happen. 100 people can be shot dead in the middle of a fucking football game. You could have a city burn down. You could have a hurricane wipe out and not do anything, and people will get over it and forget about it. But you let one baby die, okay, or one fucking puppy or kitten starve to death, and your election is over. So I started thinking about that, and I started saying to myself, okay, who makes it? And so after I realized it didn't come from international, it came from the US, I said, okay, who makes it in the US? The main manufacturer was Abbott Laboratories. And I said, I remember Abbott. Why? And I remembered during COVID, the government basically said to them, hey, shut down almost everything you do. We're going to pay for all of whatever you're going to lose money-wise now and in the future, and we're going to give you a bunch of money to make a bunch of stuff for COVID, right? And that's what they did. They started pumping it out. Then they end up having 2 babies out of millions die after consuming their formula, right? So
pause for technical /
sorry, my
marital.
wife decided in the middle of our podcast, you need to come talk to me about a key lime pie piece that she left over or something. I don't know. Back to what I was saying.
Key lime pie's a banger. You should eat it if she just gave it to you.
Dude, it's not even the whole thing. She brought me like a small piece of leftovers from her and her family going out. Like, it's not even that good looking. All right, so back to what I was saying. So Abbott Laboratories, they actually had to shelf all of their stuff because they had 2 babies that died.
Of millions.
2 babies that died from after ingesting it, right? They were doing an investigation, everything like that. So I was paying attention to this. And then I saw last week that the FDA said they were going to go in and check on the stuff to see what their formula was, if everything's good to go. So keep adding this together. And then I realized something. There's a new press secretary coming in from the White House. She's going to get roasted on this, right? And the administration has to at least pretend like they're doing something, because once again, you can let people be wiped out in Ukraine. You can let a hurricane go in Louisiana and do nothing. You can let wildfires rage uncontrollably. You could let anything you want, and people will not pay. Nobody will bat an eye after a week. But if you don't do something about a baby formula shortage and a baby ends up starving to death, your election is over. It is done. The opponents will run on that. You will be labeled a fucking baby murderer. It's over. So I said, these guys are going to have to get something going on, whether it's Defense Production Act or whatever. And so I started doing my research, and I realized there were 3 companies that could do this: Gerber, Abbott, and some other bullshit company. Well, nobody's going to let Johnson & Johnson do it because they kill people all the time. Gerber doesn't have the infrastructure in place to do formula. So who does that leave? That fucking leaves Abbott Laboratories. And I told these guys it's a complete tinfoil hat theory, but I think that they're going to come out and they're going to say to Abbott, listen, start it back up. We're going to give you a shitload of money. We're going to give you all the resources you need. Get this shit out there. So I ended up taking calls on it yesterday. And I don't know how I got it timing so well, but last night this article came out that the FDA and the CEO of Abbott got together and they're going to ramp back up production, their biggest facility, and it's going to take 8 weeks, but they're going to get it out. And I made 100% return overnight. So
whoa, damn,
that
dude.
was the little tinfoil hat thing that came out. Long story from this, but I just thought it was so cool that we put this whole like whiteboard like Pepe Silva conspiracy together, and it fucking worked. It worked.
Keeps coming up. Pepe Sylvia. Good work, man. You said you described it as because you were bored, you didn't have anything else to do. You've never seen It's Always Sunny?
No.
God, you would fucking love It's Always Sunny. Of all people in my life that would love It's Always Sunny.
Everybody says that about their show. I'll be honest with you. I watched 2 episodes of The Office, the US version, and I'm going to say something right now. It's the most overrated show I've ever heard of in my life.
Listen, The Office is good. It's more general audience. It's not going to hit.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying it compared to what everybody says.
More general
it's overrated.
audience. It wouldn't appeal to you. I kind of have a weird, quirky sense of your weird, quirky comedy, and It's Always Sunny is immediately in that mold. You need to watch It's Always Sunny.
I don't like those shows. It's not engaging enough. I need something that I have to use my brain. So, you know, obviously I loved Game of Thrones because I love history. I watched all of Last Kingdom. I watched Squid Games, which was great. I watched.
Did you just say you love Game of Thrones because you love history?
Well, I like that historical context of like medieval shit and stuff.
That's like my dad. My dad said something. I loved watching Game of Thrones, and one episode
up until season 4 or 5. That's it.
Yeah, it got bad at the end, but I loved it to a point. And my dad watched an episode with me, and he looks at me in like 10 minutes in, and he goes, "Did they not have showers back then?" I go, "What are you talking about back then? When the dragons and the White Walkers occupied this planet? Like, what you said you love history. Well, it's amazing."
There's one thing that I can't stand about that show, and I'm not talking about the last episode of the last season. The one thing that fucked it up for me was not even Ed Sheeran being a goddamn soldier. I get immersed in these things, and I realize that there's a lot of historical context and things out of place for theatrical, whatever. But there was one line in the show that just took me out of it, and that's when Arya Stark was, no spoilers here, but when she was talking to the little fat kid before they were going on their journey, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight in the war," whatever like this, and she goes, "You'd fill your pants if you got within a mile of a battle," and that ruined it for me. Because not only did the mile not become a unit of measurement until like less than 100 years ago, but even if it was in the United, and that's only United States, right? But even if that was the case, this is based in some distant land where everybody outside of America uses, kilometers anyways. So it just pissed me the fuck off that she said in a 1,000-year-old show, mile. And that ruined it for me right there. I know it's small.
Show.
I know this should be my rant right here. I know that these little things shouldn't fuck you up, but they do. It's like, for example, give you another example. I'm just doing my rant. I guess I'm a new rant in the middle of the show. Do you know what fucks me up in a movie more than anything when it comes to action movies? When they have a revolver and they fire more than 6 shots, or they have a semi-automatic and they shoot more than 15 shots and don't reload. I'm like, motherfucker, you are out of rounds. There are 6 rounds in a revolver. You can't shoot 30 fucking rounds. Or when they have a handgun, a semi-automatic pistol, and the cops chasing them and they keep firing. Because my brain, I automatically count how many bullets there are, and they're on bullet 30, 40, 50, and there's no extended mag. And I'm like, what the fuck? Or somebody picks up a goddamn AR-15 and just starts going. I'm like, this is why people think that AR-15s are fucking assault rifles and military weapons. They're not fully automatic. It has to be like goddamn.
This is where like I know you're not watching the Marvel movies, but Mel and I during COVID, we had never seen the Marvel movies ever, but like during COVID, you're stuck at home. We needed something to watch, so we jammed through the Marvel movies, and like it ended up being really awesome. They're like all bangers up until Endgame, and then since then, they're taking all these liberties with time travel and multi-dimensional shit, and it's like they pick and choose when it's most convenient and most entertaining for them to include it in the movie. And I get it. They're just trying to make money. They're just trying to captivate an audience, just like the people that are putting in these phantom bullets outside of the regular mags and not the extended mags are for your AR-15 and your bullet counting that you're doing, or your 7-shot revolver. I get it. They're just trying to make it entertaining, but it doesn't make it nonetheless corner cutting. So I get.
Well, look at John Wick, right? Which John Wick was it? 2 or 3, whatever, where they had that thing where the guy's walking up on the walkway and he's down in the crowd of people, and they both have silencers on, and they're like shooting at each other, and like nobody is noticing that. Like, I'm sorry, a silencer does not make it silent. It's a suppressor, and instead of a bang, it's a boom. Like, it's still loud.
Wick,
like, you know there's a gunshot.
Listen, John Wick sucks, bro. I know people love it. John Wick sucks, dude. I watched John Wick 1 and I hated it. And because I thought I specifically thought the killing of the dog at the beginning of the movie was horrible. I was like, that's just the worst decision to open your movie with the death of a dog.
Got you talking though.
Me?
It makes you remember the movie, number one. Number two, it makes you understand the character more.
So that right there, I was so pissed afterwards because there was people in the stream that kept like riding me for it. They were just like, you don't like John Wick, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, fuck that movie, bro. And they just kept bringing it up. So I was like, I had it on my mind. It was like living rent free in my head. So I like Googled some interviews and stuff with the writers of the show. And they were like, oh yeah, we wrote the movie and we finished the screenplay. And they initially didn't have the whole, John Wick's dog like gets murdered or whatever. And they thought it felt really flat and unbelievable and everything. And they said, how can we fix our script? And they said, oh, let's include a dog that dies at the beginning. I'm like, bro, that just sounds to me like you had an uncreative script that sucked. And then you did something that you cut an emotional corner, because who isn't going to react to a dog dying? They just cut an emotional corner and just put the most.
They did some comedy movie with something like that where somebody's like Chihuahua got stolen or something. Like, I get it, but like, you want to think of the guy. Like, I guess everybody's just trying to do something that they think is different for a different type of movie. Although we've already talked about, we never, one of our first episodes ever, we were supposed to go on a rant together about like prequels or sequels and remakes and stuff like that, and which ones are good and bad. I was bored Saturday morning because the baby went to bed and the family was out and I didn't have anything to do. So I started scrolling through and I found the new Bill and Ted. And I was like, oh, yeah.
That came out like probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago or
yeah,
something?
So I was like, all right, you know what? I remember Bill and Ted. It was good. I'm not going to rewatch it. I just want to kind of go with the good memories I have and do it. It was so fucking bad. And I realized that they had to throw it together as like a project and not like a real movie, because they never ended up doing the official third Bill and Ted. Like, they kept pushing it off and budget and this and that. So kind of like this was just like a side project. But it just was so bad. It was not even one of those like so bad it was good. It was just I had to like force myself to finish watching it, and it just destroyed the Bill and Ted series.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was so lucky that it was made in the 80s, because that was like the time. Or was it like early 90s? It might have been like 91, 92. Could have been like 87 even. I don't know. It feels like it was in that like 87 to 92 time range is when that came out. That like time frame of movies, man, were like that you could really get away with some cheesy, some canny stuff, but as long as you got like kind of like a dope
I'm
sound.
I'm talking about the CGI. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about like the storyline.
That's what I'm talking about. No, I like even then, like that movie back then, as long as you have some dope music and some kind of like lovable characters with some memorable lines, you could get away with anything back then. And those movies were awesome.
But even the historical part where they go and like get people from the past, like there was a little bit of substance to it. You kind of knew what was going on. It wasn't just like oh, hi, you're so-and-so. Yeah, we need you. Come. And then like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden people are getting transported. I'm not going to ruin the movie for anybody, but it was just so bad. I was so disappointed. Like I told myself when it came out, I was never going to watch it.
You know better than that. You got to leave
I told myself I was never going to watch it, but
you leave that positive memory. You leave Bill and Ted's. Bill and Ted's is incredible, man. It's like,
let's see how you feel when they remake Princess Bride.
Dude, I'm gonna have sort of mid feelings on that. I'm not like
I'm not gonna watch that. There's no way I can watch that.
I'm not a huge Princess Bride fan in the first place. I like it. I think it's funny, but I'm not like, there are some people, man. Are you talking like you're one of these people, like these Princess Bride like absolute like beaters where it's like that's
I'm
the
not an
best movie?
absolutist, no, but I remember a few movies from my childhood that I watched several times and really enjoyed. For example, I thought Neverending Story was good, but when I watched it when I was a little bit older, I was like, it's just too much going on for me. Like I wish it was like two separate movies, like with different characters rather than them all. Like I wish it was like the Atreyu and the kid and like that and the thing, and then the you know, the other guys were a separate movie. You know, like whatever. I don't know, but there are certain movies that I thought were well done and they were great classic timepiece for that time frame that don't need to be redone. Right? For example, did you ever watch Krull?
No, I don't know what that is.
You never. Oh, we got to watch that together.
I don't know what Krull is.
It was a future / medieval mixed movie where like there's aliens that like or a being that comes and they land a rock and this guy has this spinny thing and he goes like, it was just a really interesting movie. It fit perfectly in that time. Krull, and it fit perfectly in that time frame and I loved it, but it needs to stay in that time frame and you need to have the mindset of when I watch this, I know I'm watching the Beastmaster and the Conan with
dude.
you know, I'm watching the, you know, the Conan with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that time frame. Like you knew what you were getting into.
Dude, Beastmaster is a freaking, that's a callback, man. I haven't thought, I remember seeing Beastmaster in a video store in like 1995, and I was 5 years old, and I remember like seeing that, and my brother really wanted to rent it and really wanted to watch it, so we ended up watching it. Like we took it home and watched it or whatever. And Beastmaster, bro, I'm gonna leave that in 1995 in my memory. This also looks really good. This Krull, I like this explanation.
I loved it. I haven't seen it in like 20 years, but I remembered how much I enjoyed it. And you know what? Here's some right here. Let me tell you, because I'm older, but I still love my throwbacks. And some of these are great. Some of these are okay. So I want to do, because this podcast, you know what? I'm enjoying this podcast more than actually hitting the stories because it's more of like a personal podcast. But here we go. Tell me if you saw it, and if you did, scale of 1 to 10 as a movie. Batman with Michael Keaton.
Is that the one? Is that the one with Uma Thurman?
That's with Jack Nicklaus with Jack Nicholson as a Joker.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Okay, Legend with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I saw that, but it's so forgettable. So I'm gonna say say 1 because I saw it and I remember nothing about it.
The only things I really remember are him diving into the water, the drunk gnome in the snow getting the bottle broken, and the giant devil. All right, Labyrinth.
Oh, with
David Bowie yeah, David Connolly.
Oh,
I actually watched
10,
Labyrinth.
Dude.
I watched Labyrinth again last year and fucking loved it again.
Dude, 10. Come on. That's a classic.
It's one of the few ones that like I've watched and said there's nothing wrong with it. All right, Beetlejuice with Michael Keaton.
10. Dude.
Okay. Let's go with, let me see what else I got here.
If a movie is a classic, dude, thousands of movies get made, hundreds of thousands of movies get made, and 0.00001% are considered classics. If it's considered a classic, it's a perfect 10.
Okay, how about this one? I haven't watched this one since the early 90s. Willow.
I don't know Willow.
Willow with the what's his name? The guy who played the Leprechaun as well, and Val Kilmer, and he's got the baby or whatever. He's got the little stick that gives him power or whatever.
Haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but it says 1988, and yeah, it does have Val Kilmer. I'm looking at all the images right now. Okay,
Neverending Story.
I don't know if I've seen all of it. I think I've seen it on TV, but like I don't think I've like sat down and watched all of it. You know, it's like one of those. I feel like it's one of those movies that was on, and I probably watched like
Dark Crystal.
Nope.
Never watched it either. Lady Hawk. This is funny about Lady Hawk, and that's that I know that Matthew Broderick was in it and Michelle Pfeiffer was in it. But one thing about this is a story I tell people why I'm so into Top Gun. We were poor, you know, we lived in the shack in Hawaii. We had no electricity, no water, nothing like that. But we used to go to this guy's house that was like halfway across the island so that my dad could get his fix or whatever. And we would go into this room and they had a little TV with a little VCR and one tape that had 2 movies burned onto it or recorded onto it. And it was Top Gun and Lady Hawk. And we would just watch it over and over and over again until, you know, they were all done. So that's why I remember Lady Hawk, but I haven't seen it since then, so I don't want to watch it because it's not really a great time. Time Bandits, I started watching that and never finished it.
Wait a second. Time Bandits. This was...
Isn't that the one with Sean Connery, right?
Yeah, Sean Connery. I've seen Time Bandits, but I don't remember anything about it, man.
All right, what about Flash Gordon? I never watched Flash Gordon.
Haven't seen Flash Gordon. What about the first Blade Runner? That's an 80s.
I never watched any of the Blade Runners or the Mad Maxes.
I've only seen the newest Mad Max, and I thought it was.
Me too. That's the one.
I thought it was so like overrated. People were like losing their mind about it.
It reminded me of like Avatar. You know, it was like just too much going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so Krull, you said you didn't watch. What about Big Trouble in Little China?
No, bro. Are these all 80s movies?
Yeah, bro. This is the one with what's his name? Dude who just recently died. Good looking dude.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Did Kurt Russell pass away?
Yeah, didn't he die of cancer or something recently?
No, I think he's still alive.
Or am I thinking of Tom Selleck? I don't know. I thought Kurt Russell died.
No, I think Kurt Russell's still alive. You know, Kurt Russell was in the Marvel movies. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah, I think.
I'm sorry, Kurt Russell. My bad.
Have you seen Overboard?
My bad.
Have you seen Overboard? Kurt Russell.
A long time ago,
dude. That's another good one.
All right, how about this? We'll get out of this winter. Field of Dreams.
Yeah. I mean, that's a 10. Come on.
I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, so it was a 10 for me when I watched it.
People will. Yeah. No, come on. People will.
I got really depressed when I was a kid at the end because the dude got to play with ball with his father finally. And I never got to do that, so that kind of messed with me.
People will most definitely come.
Right. What else we have? Tom Hanks, Big.
Yeah, Big's great.
Okay. What else do we got?
Big, is that the one where he's playing the piano in FAO
piano,
Sports?
Yeah. But he becomes an adult.
Yeah. I like that one. He goes to like, what is the name of that? It's like Voltan or something like that. You know, Zootar. You know, he puts the quarter in, and that's the thing that changes him. It's like one of those like carnival games.
the carnival the fortune teller.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, I like Big, man.
All right. Some of these I've never seen, so I'm not even gonna bother. What about Gremlins?
Gremlins is dude, class. That's a 10. Gremlins is a 10.
Christine?
Don't know it.
As the car that came to life and killed people. All right, Princess Bride.
I'm gonna say a 10, but like that's because some people say the movie's like
you're being peer pressured into this.
This is like some people say it's a 15. I'm gonna say Princess Bride is a 10. Again, if it's a classic, if people are watching it and it's from the 80s, it's a perfect movie in my mind.
Okay. How about this? And this I fucked up by watching the remake that destroyed it. Poltergeist.
No, I haven't seen it.
That movie was one of the scariest ones when I was a kid,
also,
because.
You know how like just real quick. You know how like you just said being peer pressured into this. You know how people will be like, "Oh, you haven't seen this? Oh, like you haven't seen any movies or whatever." Like they ask you. I'm like, bro, what do you want me to do with my life? Sit down and watch every movie just all day, every day, just watch movies? You can't see all the
like
movies.
The people who say, "Oh, you're a sports fan," will name every person on the team. Fuck out of here, dude. I can be casual and enjoy it, okay? Just because I don't spend all the day. All right, couple more, and then we're gonna go on. Splash.
No, I haven't seen it.
Tom Hanks with the mermaid that he brings into no?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Did you see it?
Yeah, a long time ago. Land Before Time.
Yeah, bro.
First movie I ever cried in.
Dude, Land Before Time was so good. They made like 26 of them.
And they all made money.
They just kept making them because they kept making cash from it, dude. Littlefoot, 10.
What about this? Of the 3 original Star Wars movies, which was the best, which was the worst?
The best of the original 3, which those aren't my favorite 3, but if I'm just going through the original.
I didn't ask you that.
Yeah,
I literally did not ask you that.
Yeah.
I said the original 3.
Right. Of those, the best is, I'm going to say the best is Empire Strikes Back, then New Hope, then Return of the Jedi, in that order. Empire.
I like Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and then New Hope.
Okay, so you're Return of the Jedi first. Oh, we were completely out of sync with that one. I liked the first one, man. I think the first one really kind of sets it up.
I don't know what this movie is, but I have to watch it. Okay, go ahead. It's called. Just Google Aladdin 1986. It's on Tubi TV right now. I'm gonna have to watch this. Just oh my god.
Aladdin 1986. What is this?
I don't know, dude, but it's a really heavy set Hispanic guy that on the cover that looks like he's from South Central LA in like a tough neighborhood.
What the hell?
I don't know. Do you see it?
I'm looking at it right now. I got it pulled up for
I didn't even know this thing existed, but now I feel like I have to watch it.
Is this like the Disney Aladdin, but like in real life?
How would I know?
Dude, I bet this is on Disney Plus.
It says it's on Tubi. No, it's not. It can't be. There's no way.
Aladdin 1986. What the hell's Tubi, bro?
Tubi TV. It's a free ad TV service.
No, that doesn't look like it's on Disney Plus.
Bro, I don't know what this is, but I'm watching this.
Yeah,
I feel like
movies,
I should have known this existed. All right, we get in the rabbit hole of 80 movies
I tell
again.
it to Mel all the time. 80s movies are, I think, the best movies out there. Like,
oh man, the original Clash of the Titans, even with that shitty claymation, was great. I mean, you had so many good movies.
Again,
like, there's a lot of good movies now.
Also, which that Top Gun is classic. Everybody loves that, but also Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future, bro. Back to the Future, I feel like is the 80s movie. That and probably Breakfast Club are the two best.
Fuck Back to the Future. Where's all my shit? We're already past the year with the hoverboard skateboard. Wow, we are not getting to any of these stories.
We don't need hoverboards, bro, when we got cryptocurrency in the year 2022 and it does and something called Luna crashing hard. Stocky, why does this matter? Why should we care?
Well, I mean, first of all, this is going to make everybody who says crypto is a scam rejoice. Every crypto person who thinks it's the future is going to say that this was a bullshit thing and then Bitcoin's going to 100,000. Everybody's going to have their opinion. TLDR, this was the first quote unquote major drop by what was many people considered a stable coin. So for those of you who don't know, a cryptocurrency, it's an unregulated, decentralized, unregulated. Nothing can, regulate it. It's not tied to anything other than supply, demand, and what people believe it's worth and the volatility. So a lot of people are saying, I want to get into cryptocurrency. I think it's the future, but I want it tied to something because I need some kind of, safety net, right? Like think of it like, I don't know, it's tied to a commodity. It's tied like dollars used to be tied to gold and businesses now, they could get overinflated, but they're not going to go to zero as value because they've got underlying assets and they produce something. Think of it like the nets around the Apple facility in China, right? So here's what you want to think about in this case is that this is a safety net. And it's like, okay, we're going to tie it to the US dollar. And so it's not directly, but it's tethered. In other words, it's kind of like connected and you could change one to one. You could change the value of this at a certain level of it to the US dollar right together.
How does that exchange get facilitated?
So I'm not going to break it down like in the very nitty gritty specifics for two reasons. Number one, I'm not an expert on this subject, so I'll just be honest with you. That's not my expertise. So I don't know the nitty gritties of it. But as far as this is that, sure, with crypto, it is a unregulated, whether you want to call it a commodity or a digital transaction that you buy and then it stores value based on what people are willing to buy or sell it as opposed to the dollar, right? Like how much it's worth in dollars. It's not tied to dollars, right? Like it's not a tether where you just exchange it for dollars, right? You have to actually sell it in the open market and then, collect your money. So this was one of the stable coins and people put their money into it because it was the first ever quote unquote stable coin. Now it's not actual stable coin like what you would see from like a federal backed or federally recognized coin or not USDT. This was a little bit kind of off of that, but it was based on algorithmic trading. It wasn't a literal one-to-one. It became detethered. In other words, it no longer was a one-to-one dollar to coin as far as where the algorithmic trading is. And so all this is bullshit. It doesn't matter. What ended up happening though was it was worth $100 per quote-unquote coin. 3 days later, 1 penny.
Oof, bro. I'm seeing that crash
right here.
There
were people who had millions of dollars who had nothing 3 days later. And just so you're aware, not only did people like KSI lose everything, but I want to give you an example of something. Okay. You're familiar with the company Binance?
Yep.
Okay. So according to what we know now, all right, Binance had 15 million Luna tokens worth $1.6 billion at the all-time high. It's now worth $3,000.
What?
$1.6 billion to $3,000 in 3 days.
3 days? This has got to be.
And a lot of people weren't able to, quote unquote, untether or do whatever for 21 days after they purchased it. So the people who originally bought it were able to dump on the way down, but everybody else, they were just stuck. They couldn't do anything.
So this has got to be a moment where, yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of value. That sucks for those people. And I hear you say that all the time. Like the people, the people that buy at the top, like someone's got to buy at the top. But this got to be a moment now where if you were on the outside looking in, this is like the opportunity right now, right? It's like to buy when everything's low. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, but how low? Because for example, the other day it was it dropped 99%. It was down to $1. Like it had dropped all the way down to like 30 cents and then went up to $1. One guy was like, Stocky, should I buy this right here? Because it's already down 99%. The worst I can do is lose 1%. I'm like, what? No, that's not how that works. You could lose 100% of whatever you put in. But people were buying, and then they bought at $1. They're like, oh, 99% down, I'll buy. And then it got down to 50 cents. They're like, oh, 99.5%, I'll buy more. Then it got down to 30 cents. Then it got down to 18 cents, and then 10 cents, and then once it, like, where is the bottom? Like if we would have had this conversation last week and it was down to 45 cents, you'd be like, oh, we gotta fucking buy here. Guess what? You ended up losing 95% of it since then too. Like, yeah. Where is the bottom? Where is the bottom? Is zero the absolute bottom?
A penny's got to be the bottom, right? What's less than a penny?
0.0001. I mean, there's cryptocurrencies out there that are worth 1/1,000,000th of a cent. You could lose everything. It's just not how it is. I don't fuck with these. This is why I don't fuck with crypto. It's not that I don't believe crypto isn't the future. Obviously, digital currencies are the future. I would rather invest in the technology behind it, so that way it doesn't matter what coin is the big one in the future. Give me the one that holds the blockchain, the one that mines the coins and switches. That's what I want to get at. I don't want to play the casino. I want to work on. I want to own the machines.
Yeah, you're invested in the infrastructure, which is going to be stable, and all the toys and all the tops and everything that's spinning up top. Like those are going to continue to be volatile for God knows how long. But I'm just.
By the way, crypto bros, I look forward to your comments in the section below us about how Stocky clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Or, oh, this is not this crypto. Clearly, this guy's an idiot.
How many crypto bros do you see in your stream? Because I'm sure you attract so many. How many crypto bros do you see in your stream?
Most of them don't stick around because I don't focus only on crypto.
But not just a crypto bro. How many do you see in your stream that have an understanding that crypto can both be the future and be a bubble in this moment?
None of them are willing to accept that their coin, especially if it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, they're not able to accept that this coin will not take over, will not be 100,000, or what they like to say now is who cares what Bitcoin's value is versus $1 right now? That doesn't matter. In the future, there won't be dollars, and therefore, whether Bitcoin's worth $1 US or $1 million US, it doesn't matter because you're facing it. You're comparing it against dollars. And in the future, we won't have dollars, and so it doesn't matter what the value is now. Just keep hoarding it because one day there'll be a limited supply. This will be and I'm like, I'm not saying that that's not going to happen, but you have to understand that. It's unregulated. Like the government could literally swoop in and say, you know what? We're no longer allowing any transactions that include you taking your cryptocurrency and buying our dollars that we issue. Because unless you can purchase things in crypto, which El Salvador tried doing and it's failed miserably, you have to sell your crypto and turn it into fiat in order to purchase things at a merchant. And the government, who owns that money and prints that money, could legitimately say, we don't recognize this anymore. You can no longer transfer into dollars, and everybody's lost. Everybody's gone.
So you know how like money and just the US dollar has existed, physically, and Bitcoin doesn't, cryptocurrencies don't. What is the whole dynamic is the equivalent of being like, hey, I'm going to go to the strip club.
Well, the dollar doesn't exist anymore either.
Well, I'm saying you go to the strip club, you throw $1 on the stage, and the stripper says, oh, that's my real dollar.
I threw a roll of quarters once and got kicked out.
Is crypto gonna just be like, oh, I'm just gonna plug my thumb drive into these Robo Strippers that are coming in?
That is the worst.
That are taking the stage
ever
into
bro.
Vegas. You just basically say, hey, just take maybe just Bluetooth. Hey, download my money, download my tip, my crypto tip, because Robot Strippers are gonna be pole dancing in Vegas, according to New York Post. .com. This was one of Stocky's stories.
Before you go anymore, I want you to step back and say, Stocky, you were right.
About Robo Strippers?
No, because we had a big conversation about sex robots. And you're like, that'll never be a thing. That'll never take over. I don't get it. And a month later, we already have robot fucking strippers.
No, I don't think I said it'll never be a thing. What I was saying was I don't understand it. And this is the moment. This is my departure. I try to be really like I try to be really willing to like and empathetic of people that specifically I feel like I'm nothing like. So if someone's trying to explain to me their position on something, I try to be like, okay, it's not for me, but I get it for you. This is my departure on that, is robots and sex. I don't understand it. I don't know how they fuse into...
Just imagine your significant other gave you all the things you love about them with none of the things that you dislike about them, and then tell me if you wouldn't want that upgrade.
Of course not, because everything that you just said doesn't make any sense, because for a million reasons. However, that's not the point of this story. The point of this story is to just say,
okay, buddy.
The point of this story...
Remember, guys, his wife just came home.
The point of this story is to connect, hey, maybe all that crypto, man, maybe this is where he could put it to use on the stage, man. Maybe this is
Bro,
all
even the robot strippers would be like, not accepted, not accepted, not accepted.
This right here is a picture of them. Why is this happening? It says even strippers'
I think your
jobs
question
may not...
should be, why is it not happening, or why did it take so long to happen?
These robots look like robots from Johnny Five. Call back to another 80s movie.
Because right now it's just like an attraction for like, oh god, I got to see what this is about, and it's a novelty. But eventually these things will have fake skin and looks, and have voice boxes and AI, and it is what it is, man. Think about what's going to happen in the VIP room.
According to the article, it says a Las Vegas jiggle joint has installed a pair of mechanized pole dancers to bump and grind on stage for computer nerds attending this week's CES Technology Bash. Wait, is CES? Oh, bro, this is an article dated in 2018 that you had sent. So this is 4 years old. This happened 4 years ago. You see that?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, this is a 4-year-old story. Either way, Robo Strippers, guys. Obviously not super new to right now, but
well, fuck it, I guess. Literally fuck it. Well, my bad. Stocky didn't get a good job vetting, and Alex failed on this one. But either way, it ties it back into to sex robots that we were talking about anyways. But you know something, what, like I was saying, listen, you may not get what the whole sex robot is. And I'm not saying that I'm not, I don't love my wife or anything like that. I'm saying as a male species. And did you know there's a correlation? It's not a causation, but there's a correlation. Since Bitcoin became a thing that became normal for people to own and like has become part of the public, the number of men who are virgin after the age of 30 has gone up at the same level that Bitcoin has. I'm not even making this up. I should send you the graph. It's insane. It's just a correlation. It's not a causation. Yeah, let me see.
We should look at that right now because that's amazing, guys. Other things while Stocky's pulling up.
No. I wanted to say real quick is that the reason that I love the idea, and then we were talking about sex robots, and you're like, well, it doesn't make any sense. And I said everything you love about your significant other, but the things you dislike. Do you know what, as an employer, do you know what would be awesome about having a woman robot? If you live in Spain.
All right, so we're not on our segue game today, clearly. However, Spain is set to become the first Western country to offer menstrual leave.
Katrina's finally hiring women again.
Spain is set to offer menstrual leave. So according to the Telegraph, the progressive measure is part of a reform plan that will guarantee up to 3 days off of work every month for those who suffer from severe period pain. The Spanish government is expected to approve the package during its cabinet meeting on Tuesday, making it the first Western country to provide such a right, following Zambia and a handful of Asian countries like Japan, South Korea, and Indonesia. Though menstrual leave is not federally mandated for paid time off in the U.S., a number of private companies offer the benefit with varying limitations. I guess if you had a robot working for you, that also wouldn't apply to them. However, it might be like one of those things. It might be like one of those things, like how like. Everyone's worked, maybe not everybody, but for those that have worked in retail or in restaurant or whatever, those your coworkers that are, smokers, and they take those smoke breaks, like 3 an hour, and those that aren't smokers don't get those breaks. The robots, man, they're going to be a little pissed. They're like, hey, why does that human get 3 days off just because they have a period or whatever? Like, we'd also should get 3 days
Whoa,
off.
excuse me, a period or whatever. You're such a fucking toxic masculinity, misogynistic asshole. Just a period or whatever. Do you know what it's like to have a period once a month? You bleed, the cramps, the ungodly pain, the sensation, the hormone drops, the feeling of just wanting to fucking curl up and die because it just feels like you have a knot in your body and you've been stabbed, and then you have to bleed out. And you are in that every single month for fucking 40 years, Alex? You are disgusting.
Alex, are you talking to the robots or are you talking to me?
You are disgusting.
I was the one saying that. Was the robots. It was the Spanish robots of the future.
No, you're the one who goes, "Oh, period," or whatever.
No, that was me saying what the Spanish robots of the future were going to be saying.
That's
about
what you decided they're going to say because you're projecting.
Okay. We've reached the end.
All right, here you go. I want to show you this chart right here, and I want you to remember that Bitcoin was introduced in 2009.
All right. Did you just message me?
It's on open chat in.
All right, got it. All right. So this right here.
Bitcoin was introduced in 2009. I want you to look at that chart.
So it says young male virginity on the rise. Share of men under age of 30 who report 0 female sex partners since they turned 18. Wait, so this is if you've been a virgin from the ages of 18 to 30, like as an adult.
Well, like if you're at 30 and you still are a virgin.
Okay. And yeah, it rises. It hockey sticks up there, man.
Starting in what year is the first rise from the bottom? 2009.
2009.
What year did Bitcoin get introduced?
You just told me that it got introduced in 2009.
2009. There you go, crypto bros. Which leads me to a video I've got to send you, which was fucking epic. We watched it twice today, where a girl made a video about not wanting to hear about crypto and NFTs from guys, and it's fucking horrible. It's a great song.
Dude,
such
adult male virginity soars. That, dude, like, I if it's by choice, then more power to you. But
it's not. No, dude's like, hey, you see all these hot bitches out here? Nah, I don't want to fuck them.
Man, dude, skyrocketing to 27%.
And that was a couple of years ago. If you add in what the Asian nations like Japan and Korea and whatnot
Sex is
have
down
been,
over there, man. Sex is down over there.
It's even worse. I think male virginity over 30 is like one in 3 guys is still a virgin at 30.
Obviously, like you said,
which is nothing wrong with that, guys. If you want to be a virgin, that's fine. If you can't, listen, pay for it. There are people out there. Support your local sex worker.
Like I said, if it's by choice, but you go, it's not.
You're toxic.
Guys, other stories that are going on around the world. Sweden and Finland are joining NATO, something we didn't talk about today, but we probably should have because it's super serious. Bezos and the White House battle over taxes and inflation. Also, the military is throwing cash at recruiting crisis as troops head for the exits. Thailand is going to start providing free cannabis plants for home cultivation. Lionel Messi is going to leave PSG and he's going to come to the MLS here stateside. And with that, he's going to get 30.
Coffee prices are going up. I don't know why he's going to did that.
Messi's going to get 35% of the Inter Miami franchise. So he's going to be playing down in your neck of the woods. You should go see him play. People say he's the best of all time. And
why
also,
do I want to go see a Portuguese soccer player? I don't even watch soccer.
I don't think Lionel Messi's Portuguese. I think he's Argentine.
He's not the Portuguese guy?
I think he's Argentine. I think he's from
I thought he was the famous soccer guy.
Cristiano Ronaldo is Portuguese. He's famous and people love him.
Oh, that's the name of the guy. Okay, my bad. I didn't know. I don't know their names. Okay, I just knew that one of them was Portuguese or something.
Messi's from Argentina. And so, if you're into, going to see the GOATs play, I guess, then you can go watch Lionel Messi play because people say he's the greatest of all time. Also, guys, last thing is a bunch of people apparently cleaned up Lake Tahoe and found like 25,000 pounds of trash.
You're like, apparently they did this. I'm so sorry that, big deal, man. Did you see some of the stuff they found? Oh, I'm going to be on vacation in St. Augustine next week, and I'm going to the Pirate Treasury Museum. I'm pumped.
You got to take pictures so we can show it on the podcast next week. All right, guys, Stocky's random rant. Here's where we are, guys, the end of the show.
I already had a random rant in the middle of the goddamn in the podcast. But you know what? Here's what my random rant's going to be. And it's just something I need to say, okay? Because I've been dealing with it with a car and with, the house and with everything else. Can we stop doing fucking hard credit checks every goddamn time somebody wants to know if I'm broke or not, okay? Because here's the thing. It takes me 6 goddamn months to get my credit score up to a certain level. And just like that, it's fucking wiped out because some asshole wants to check what my credit is. Listen, can we do some kind of non-hard credit check? Can we do like a, if I can have Credit Karma every time I check my credit, it's not a fucking hard credit hit. Why is it a hard credit hit every time a company wants to see what my credit is? Can we get them a fucking subscription to my, can I add somebody to my Credit Karma fucking profile or something like that? I can add a driver to Uber. Can I do that to Credit Karma? And I'm going to tell you why. Because I bought a house, boom, hard credit check, right? And then the mortgage company, boom. And then I was shopping around for mortgages, boom. And then I get for a car, boom. And then, my credit card, limit gets increased because we have the family here and I needed to increase it for 6 months while they're here so that just in case something happens, boom. And I'm at Publix the other day and they're like, hi, or I'm not Publix, I'm at Walgreens. Like, would you like to sign up for a Walgreens card? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, thank you. I get home, boom, Walgreens check me out. I'm like, the fuck is going on? And I go to a massage place and they're like, I was like, how much is a massage? They're like $60 1 hour. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, I was like, how much is a tip? And they go, it's $100. I'm like, all right, here's my card. And boom, I get hit with a credit hit. Like, what the fuck is the little Shanghai spa doing a goddamn credit check on me? Like, are they making sure while I'm getting a massage that I can afford this? Like, what is going on here? So can we please, in 2022, find a way to get soft credit checks and not hard credit checks? Because I get punished for having good credit. Okay. If you get to a certain level of credit, is there a way, if you have a history of credit payment and a credit score and a good, payment, history, everything like that, where credit, you get like a little asterisk next to it, or you get some kind of like reprieve from the hard check. Like I worked my ass off to be a good credit person. Why am I still getting dinged on it? That's all I just wanted to get over because I'm so sick of fucking these goddamn credit checks.
I feel like that was a good rant. I feel like some of your other ones, the stakes were a little lower than that one. I feel like the stakes were medium on that one. Everyone's got to go through, their own sort of credit story. So I feel like
Alex, I really don't remember asking you to critique my rant.
Guys, thank you all for being here. Stock Guy and Alex Show. This was episode number 25. Guys, we will be back next week. Stocky, you're out of town next week, is that right? You're going out, so we're actually going to record on Monday next week.
I have to record on Monday because I'm leaving Tuesday morning to go up to Melbourne for 2 days and then St. Augustine for 3 and then all the way back.
Stocky's going to go on a little bit of a vacay.
And then that's not a vacay. I'm just a chauffeur. And then I've got the meetup for Top Gun 2 the following weekend, New York City the following week after that, and then Amsterdam the month after that. It's gonna be wild.
Stocky's a busy guy. Guys, we'll be back next week. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us, guys. This is Stock Guy and Alex Show. Listen and download on YouTube and Spotify, guys. Also, make sure you're following the show on Twitter, Insta, LinkedIn, TikTok, all the socials, guys. One love, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks for watching. Also, if there are any coffee companies out there, I'm still a free agent.